I truly believe that the reason people get hired is the same reason we buy things. Because somewhere along the line, you told your story in a clear enough way that they're getting the aha moment of, oh my gosh, they're the one. I'm Elissa Shuck, ex-corporate hiring manager, middle manager turned leadership and career coach. It wasn't all that long ago that I experienced layoffs, narcissistic bosses, toxic work environments, and leadership challenges that had me wondering, why in the world did I ever get into management? But I've also had 12 career promotions. I co-founded a company. I've made multiple industry pivots and turned around poor performing teams. I've achieved everything I set out to do and imagined that I could do in my career. I created the Love Your Work Life podcast to give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. If you're a high-achieving employee and leader, or you're one in the making who's looking to create a career instead of letting it happen on default, who wants a work life that feels happy and satisfying, you're in the right place, my friend. Let's get started. If I were to ask you, what does your company do? What does your team do? What is your business all about? What product or service is out there in the market? What is the reason that the company you work for even exists in the world? I bet you anything that all the stories about the company would just roll right off your tongue. The features, the benefits, all the good stuff would just flow out of you. If I asked you the same question about someone you really care about, what are their awesome qualities? What do you like best about them? When you look at your experience with them, what stands out to you as remarkable? Again, it would probably just flow right out of you. All the stories, all the amazingness. So why is it so hard to talk about yourself, to market yourself during your job search? Because here's the deal. When you're in job search mode, for whatever reason, you're going to have to tell your stories. You're going to have to sell yourself. And the word sell has some connotations for people that feel very uncomfortable. So sometimes I refer to it just as marketing yourself, because marketing traditionally, and I have a sales and marketing and branding background, marketing feels more like telling stories versus selling, but we could use the words interchangeably. But here's the thing. You've got to market yourself. You've got to tell your story in a way that resonates with people. The definition of marketing is, in the dictionary, the action or business of promoting and selling products or services. Well, guess what, my friends? When you're in job search mode, you are the product or the service. You are the one that benefits them. You are the one that makes their life easier and better. Because if you think about it, that is the reason that we buy anything we buy. There's something about that item, there's something about that product, there's something about that service that fulfills a need that makes our life easier and better. It doesn't matter if it's the new smartphone. It doesn't matter if it's the new toaster oven that's the perfect size without taking up much space on your counter and fits your perfect casserole dish. That was one of my purchases. A job search is a marketing campaign. It is you helping them see you as the solution to the pain points and the aspirations that are being solved in the company through the role you are seeking, through that position. I truly believe that the reason people get hired is the same reason we buy things. Because somewhere along the line, you told your story in a clear enough way that they're getting the aha moment of, oh my gosh, they're the one. That's why I want to talk to you about job search strategy from the perspective of marketing. Well, as I said before, we buy things to solve problems or achieve aspirations, things that make our life easier and better. And these problems get solved on 3 levels: a physical level, an emotional level, and a philosophical level. So what do I mean by all of that? Well, the physical level is literally solving a physical problem. You have a plumber come in to unclog the drain. You hire a landscaper to come in and take care of your yard. Those are the physical problems that are getting solved. But what's the emotional side of that? Well, when your drain is clogged and you can't run the dishwasher because it's backing up into the sink or whatever, then the emotional issue is frustration. So when you hire a plumber, they're not just unclogging the drain, they're relieving you of the frustration of having to deal with that. When you hire someone to take care of your lawn, they're likely relieving you of the emotional pain of embarrassment and shame. I think about every time you drive up to your house, you're feeling this emotion of, oh my gosh, I wish our yard looked better. Well, what is the philosophical side? Philosophicals have to do with shoulds. It shouldn't be so hard to have a great looking yard. We want things to be easier. It shouldn't be so difficult to have things running smoothly, to solve this problem. The shoulds, the philosophicals, are all about taking it a step further, solving something at this deeper level. Think about the purchases that you've made recently. What is true about this? What is true about your purchase and the physical need it solved, the emotional need it resolved, and the should thing that it took care of? The physical level addresses a problem. The emotional level relieves that emotional pain point. And the philosophical level creates a value add experience. So how does this relate to job searching? Well, they're going to hire you for the exact same reasons. That you're addressing a problem, that you're relieving an emotional pain point, that you're bringing in a value add experience. Think of it like this. Job descriptions translate to outcomes. The company is trying to solve a problem. They're trying to create solutions and outcomes and impact through that role. And the job description, I always say, when I look at it with clients, I always say, hey, this bullet point is either a pain point or a goal. And when you uncover those pain points and goals, the problems that are being solved through that role, you can address it. And you're going to address it partly through your resume that's telling your story in a way that aligns with the role. And then you're getting a chance to go deeper when you do the interview. It's especially powerful when you address the hiring manager's specific pain points. There's a good chance that is the person who wrote the job description. When you look at the job description through the lens of what does success look like for this manager, that is where the magic can happen, because you are creating now a relationship with that person that helps them really see you as bringing the skills, strengths, and experience that is going to make their life easier and better. Let's be real. If the life of the team is easier and better because you're on it and you're solving problems and you're creating impact and you're making contributions, then their life is easier too. Now, practically speaking, the way you do that is focusing on your skills, your accomplishments, your impact. You'll hear it all the time. Recruiters want to see metrics. They want to see impact on a resume. And I highly advise that you do that as best you can. Here are some questions that you can ask yourself to help bring up some of those things, because sometimes you're just so close to your job and the things that you do day in and day out don't actually feel like accomplishments. They just feel like you're doing your job. They don't really feel like results. They feel like just, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be doing here. But they actually are all results. And I challenge you to start looking at all of your day-to-day activities, the small things and the bigger things, as results you are creating day in, day out. Now, some questions that'll help you kind of pull that stuff out of yourself are: what problems do you solve? What are your strengths? How do your strengths underpin your ability to solve those problems? How do you behave? How you behave in certain circumstances relates to your natural behavioral strengths in the workplace, and your behaviors, like being someone who really brings about harmony on the team, your behavior of someone who has a certain sense of authority about you. Those are behaviors that when you align them to something that is going to help solve a problem in a job, it's going to be very powerful on your resume and in the conversations that you have, because you're going to be able to tie your strengths and behaviors to the problems you solve and the contributions that you make. You also want to focus on value. And here's what I mean about this. Helping someone else catch a vision of what their life will be like after they hire you. Just like you're catching a vision of what your life will be like after you make that purchase. What is your life going to be like after you buy that new computer and you're no longer struggling? Or like when I had an older computer, I used to turn it on in the morning, go make my coffee, do a couple things, and then by the time I got back to my desk, it was up and running. So you get where I'm going with this, right? It is about you helping people see the value you bring, helping them envision the results that they will create with you in that role. Bottom line, life is better. So you want to make sure that in your resume that you are including a combination of your skills, strengths, behavioral strengths that you bring to the role, and showcasing how your accomplishments have had impact. It's really cool when you can showcase how the accomplishments are a natural byproduct of the strength, skills, experience that you bring to a role. This is a section I call core competencies and accomplishments, or sometimes I call it business proficiencies and accomplishments. But it's a special section that I include in resumes that does such a great job of helping people envision my clients in the role. And you do this by including descriptions of your transferable skills, descriptions of how you show up, of your approach to solving tasks and goals, of your communication style, your leadership style. These little narratives combined with accomplishments are what will help them visualize you inside their company doing their role and not just the opportunities you had in the past. This is helpful no matter what you're planning for your next job, but it's especially helpful when you're making a career pivot or you're making a little shift to an adjacent role or taking your skills, experience, and position and moving it from one industry to another. The new industry probably has zero frame of reference, zero context for your former industry. So you have to take it upon yourself to create that little narrative to help them connect the dots, which leads me to my last point. You've got to connect the dots for yourself before anyone else is going to buy it. And you connect the dots for yourself in 3 ways. I like to use what one of my coaches calls the belief triad. It's so applicable in this situation. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe that you have the capacity, the ability, the knowledge to land that job. That belief in yourself is you picturing yourself in the role. Like, what is the future you who's already landed the job thinking about you? I guarantee you, you're thinking different things about yourself if you're putting your headspace into, I already have this job, versus I'm trying to get this job. It's a different mindset. It's a different energy frequency, if you will, and it makes all the difference in how you present yourself. Because if you're walking into an interview and you are in your mind thinking this job is yours, how are you feeling? Well, there's so much more ease and certainty. The interview itself is much more effortless, certainly less stressful when you're thinking of yourself as the person who's already landed the job. You've also got to believe in your unique proposition. When we're talking about products and brands, there are unique product propositions. There are things that set one product apart from another. You must believe in your unique value proposition. What is it that you bring to the role? There is no other person on the planet like you. Your unique combination of skills, strengths, behaviors, characteristics, traits, those things in combination with the roles that you've had over the course of your career and the value that you've accumulated over your career creates a unique proposition. You've got to believe that what you have is enough. And lastly, you've got to believe in your prospective employer. Products, services, they believe that there is a customer out there for them. They believe that the customer, the client, will see the uniqueness, the solution in what they have to offer. If they didn't believe there was a customer out there for the product, they wouldn't be putting it out there. So you've got to believe that there's a hiring manager that's going to see you for the amazing person you are, and that there's a company that is going to be able to do more, excel in ways that they can't even imagine simply because you are in the role. Your belief in them, that it's out there and it's available to you and that they need you, is that third part of the triad. My friends, someone taught me a long time ago that a sale is nothing more than a transfer of belief and enthusiasm. the belief that you have the right combination of strengths, traits, characteristics, the belief that you have accumulated enough value in your career that you can have a positive impact anywhere you go, and the belief that there's someone out there, there's a business out there, there's a human out there that is willing to see you for the value that you bring. That belief, combined with your enthusiasm for the role, for the opportunity, is the exact transfer of energy that will help the other person see you as the solution to their problems, which basically means they get you and you get hired. So get out there, put these strategies into place, and listen. If you need help, you absolutely know where to find me. Connect with me on LinkedIn, send me a DM, click the book an appointment link that's right there at the top of my profile. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about how to put your unique value proposition into the world so that you feel great about yourself and other people see your value and you get hired. And listen, for a limited time, I am doing something kind of crazy. I'm taking my 90-day career coaching program and calling it 90 Day Plus. And the reason I'm doing this is because I am thinking about all of the people who at the beginning of 2024 said, this is my year. This is the year I'm finally going to get out. This is the year I'm going to give myself a promotion. I'm going to get out of the toxic workplace. I'm going to actually find a job that gives me the work-life balance that I'm looking for. And yet, here we are in the last couple of months of the year, and you're still there. 90 Day Plus means that you will be able to keep your promise to yourself and have the job you love, the job you want in 2025. Because I'm going to take 90 days and I'm going to stretch that out for as long as it takes. I have limited spots available for this. So if you want to take advantage of it, I encourage you to come find me. Easiest way, because I'm hanging out there all the time anyway, is LinkedIn. Connect with me, message me, click the book an appointment. Let's talk about what your new role looks like in 2025, but also what your life looks like a year from landing that new job, 3 years from landing that new job, 5 years from landing that new job. What does that look like? All right, my friends, I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and please visit elissashuck-careercoach.com for more information about how I can help you with your career and leadership goals. Talk to you soon.